Welcome back to Dreamin' Dragons. To keep or to bin? The age-old question surrounding what to do with our dragon fruit flowers after they've successfully become pollinated. Time to punch out the pros and cons of each, as well as the simple way in which I remove a flower, so stick around to the end for that. Why tinker with nature? You've got a bungee cord in our progressively wilting flower hanging from our highly sought-after fruit. This bungee cord, as any flower in your garden, can act as a breeding ground for bugs, insects, and fungal diseases. As it progressively wilts and we get a reduction in airflow and sunlight within its petals, chuck in some high humidity, a bit of rain, and a side of summer sun, you have the perfect pathway for rot and other pathogens to potentially take down your baby. As you can see here, a bit of rain and some warm days and our flowers are looking worse than the sandwich you've left in the back of your fridge for the past few weeks. Spiders, wasps, mealybugs, all kinds of critters can make a home in your flower and slowly burrow their way into the sweet, sweet fruit. And if the weather's pretty ordinary, the damp flower can cause some rot in your fruit too. What a bummer. As you can see on this fruit here, the rain-soaked flower had started causing a bit of damage to our fruit. If I'd left it for another week or so, good chance this would have spread. Are there any cons to deflowering our fruit? Too early, you risk preventing the pollen from reaching the ovary. No fruit. Too rough, you can dislodge the developing fruit from the branch. Too late, you can pull off the end of the fruit, leaving a small hole for critters to attack. Poor execution. You can leave bits of the flowers attached and it's going to just be a bit of an eyesore. Not necessarily a con, but some are covered in spikes, like this one here, and you get some neat little battle wounds. To leave the flower on. By leaving the flower to its own devices, you remove the chance of accidentally ripping it off the branch or physically damaging your fruit. You also don't physically have to do anything, which is my favorite thing. There's also not necessarily any need to. If the weather's fine, the chances are high that you'll have no dramas at all. The downside of leaving it on were covered before. Rot, bug attack, oh my. So you've decided you want to take your flower off. How are we doing it? First step, wait until at least 4 days after you've pollinated your flower. Give the pollen a red-hot crack of being delivered to the ovary. On the flower side, apply some pressure to the top. Flexing it down, apply some up, bit more down. You'll notice some splitting at the point of stress, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And once that splits the entire way through, gently pull and slide it off your fruit. Within the first week or so, you'll find the stigma won't pull off easily. Early removal, I usually leave that on and come back for it at a later stage. If you're ripping it off after it's long dried, you'll get the stigma off as well in one clean swoop. You'll find it's much easier to remove by the second week post-pollination. By this stage, it's essentially a party popper. Overall summary, will your fruit need to be deflowered 100% of the time? Absolutely not. What about half the time? Probably not. I don't grow huge commercial quantities of fruit, so can't give large-scale results, but from the few hundred flowers I've pollinated, I've probably only had half a dozen fruit that have become affected by flowers going bad, if that. So, in the end, it's up to you. For what it's worth, if I have the time or motivation, I usually will take them off for nothing more than the fruit looks more aesthetically appealing without the flower. And finally, if you've enjoyed or found this video interesting, please hit the like button below, as well as subscribing to my channel. It will do wonders to help spread my content to the wider dragon fruiting community, plus will help you keep up to date with all the dragon fruity goodness we have going on here. Cheers, guys.